Assalamu alaikum and good evening. I'm sorry I can't be with you today because of certain pressing commitments, but I was really honored and pleased and privileged to receive this invitation from Idara-e Taaleem o Agahi to attend their International Women's Day event. Civil society organizations play a very important role in many social sector spheres, and I'm aware of the very important work that Idara-e Taaleem o Agahi does, specifically with regard to the access to education programs for girls, which is so very important for socio-economic development, for overall national development of a country. Just a little bit about the EHSAS program and how we're trying to push the needle on gender equity and gender equality. When we conceptualized EHSAS as an umbrella social protection program, we made this conscious decision, this very conscious and concrete decision, that 50% plus of all benefits under all EHSAS programs, under all policies, are going to be for women and girls. And I want to mention girls in particular because we usually tend to forget that in the gender equality equation. So our 50% plus benefits policy for women and girls under EHSAS essentially is applicable to all programs, is applicable to all policies. EHSAS Kafalat, through which we give stipends and bank accounts to women, is 100% for women. EHSAS undergraduate scholarship is 50% for women. EHSAS cash for work or Bila Sood Karza is 50% for women. EHSAS Amdan, our program for asset transfers to very impoverished families, is 60% for women. Our emergency cash initiative, which you saw playing out during COVID, is heavily skewed towards women. 54% of the payments were made to women during EHSAS emergency cash. And our work around conditional cash transfers on health and nutrition are heavily skewed towards empowerment of girls. For instance, Wasila Taaleem program, which has been running for a very long time and which we upscaled in the last 2 years from 50 to all 154 districts of the country. In that particular program, we changed the stipend policy for girls. So the stipend for the girl child is much higher than the stipend for the boy child. Similarly, when we launched the new the health and nutrition conditional cash transfer program, we took a similar approach. So the cash transfer for the girl child is much higher than the cash transfer for the boy child. And I really see these policies playing out in the field. When I go to our EHSAS Nasho-Numa centers, I see women from very disadvantaged backgrounds bringing their girl child to our centers, enrolling the girl child in the former FATA areas, in Balochistan, in very far-flung areas, in very disadvantaged areas, where women sometimes don't even count their girls. So I was a physician, worked in for many years in Peshawar, where the catchment area was all of former FATA, and it was a standard practice when women used to come, and as a physician I used to ask them, how many children do you have, and they would say 4, and it would be a given that they're referring to boys, not the girls. So the girls never even were counted. And in that environment, we took a policy that we are going to incentivize girls' education, girls' primary education. We are going to incentivize the nourishment of girls, and hence we will give a bigger stipend for girls. We took that policy decision, we got it approved through the appropriate fora, we've cascaded it into implementation, and it is actually working on ground. I'm also very pleased to let you know that about 2 weeks ago, our board approved a policy of giving graduation stipends to girls who complete primary education under the EHSAS framework. This policy is going to now cascade into implementation very soon, and my next frontier is to extend the Wasila Taaleem program for secondary education, and we'll very soon be taking the appropriate steps to get this policy approved. Also under the ESAS framework, there are many other empowering programs for women, recognizing the work of rural women in the agriculture sector, whose work was for decades seen as an extension of domestic responsibilities, recognizing the work of women who work as domestic servants in the urban sector. We are also working on a street hawkers initiative, where we have every intention of giving women equal opportunity. And along these different social protection centered programs, there is also a deeper realization within ESAS that diversity in the workplace and an equal opportunity to women in the workspace is absolutely fundamental. So we're trying to take all possible steps to push the needle on this through a variety of different ways. Once again, I'm sorry for not being able to join you here in person, but I wish you a very successful meeting, and I look forward to its deliberations and to the opportunity of collaborating. Thank you very much.